Professor Prashant Mengal, sir. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir. Myself, Principal of Vageshwari College of Engineering, sir. How are you, sir?
Sir.
Yeah. So we'll start the session, sir. Please, sir, Ramesh, you unmute all the people.
Present voice maximum. Principal speaking.
Yeah. Now it is coming.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes. I am audible, sir.
Yes,
Am I
sir.
audible?
You are audible. Yes.
Thanks.
Yeah. Good morning to all the participants. Thank you for registering for today's webinar on applications of artificial intelligence techniques to induction motor drives. Myself, Dr. C.H. Srinivas, Principal of Vageshwari College of Engineering, Karimnagar, which is located around 10 kilometers from the Karimnagar town on National Highway. There is a Rajiv Rahadari. It starts from Ramagundam to Hyderabad. The institution is having good infrastructure facilities and eminent faculty members. We offer UG programs in civil engineering, mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, computer science engineering, and a new program that is computer science engineering with a specialization of artificial intelligence and machine learning. We offer PG programs in MBA, MCA, and MTech programs in VLSI embedded systems, computer science and engineering, MTech in power electronics, MTech in CAD/CAM. We offer diploma programs in civil engineering, mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, and electronics engineering. The faculty are a dedicated and well qualified. They do lot of transmitting of the knowledge to the young generation students. Our institution is having a good name in the town of Karimnagar. We are a well-known institution in Karimnagar town with a excellent feedback from the parents as well as the passed out students and the current students. The institution is very easily accessible to all the students from Karimnagar town. Let me introduce today's speaker. It's a great honor to introduce today's eminent personality speaker, Dr. Prashant Mengal. Sir was born in Khapa village of Nagpur district on 7th February 1975. Received Bachelor of Engineering in the specialization of Electronics and Power Engineering from Nagpur University in the year 1998. Did his master's degree in control systems from Government College of Engineering, Pune, University of Pune in the year 2000. Sir has completed his PhD in the area of artificial intelligence based real-time control of induction motor from JNTU Anantapur in the year 2017. Dr. Prashant Mengal joined in the Military College of Electronics and Mechanic Engineering, Secunderabad, in the year 2002 through the recruitment of Union Public Service Commission. Sir is presently working as professor and official in charge of Electronics Group in Radar and Control System Department, Faculty of Electronics. Having a vast experience of 19 years of teaching experience, Sir possesses as senior member of IEEE and Fellow of Institute of Engineers, Calcutta. Member in Indian Society of Technical Education, IETE, Indian Science Congress, and System Society of India. To his credit, Sir has published more than 30 research papers in well-known conferences, journals, India and abroad. Sir is the editorial board member of iManager Journal of Instrumentation and Control Engineering. Is a reviewer for Elsevier journals, IEEE journals, and Springer journals. Dr. Prashant Mengal, research interest areas are in real-time control system of electrical machines, robotics, and mathematical modeling, simulation. Sir has been awarded Best Oral Paper Presentation in Power and Energy Track during 11th IEEE conference held at Pune, and also Best Paper Award in Electrical Machines and Drives Track in IEEE 2019 at Mumbai. With these few words of introduction of today's speaker, Dr. Prashant Mengal, I would like to request Sir to continue the session. Thank you, sir.
Right. Thanks, sir. Thanks for your nice words.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Right. Thanks for your nice word.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, right. That's nice.
Yeah. Good morning to all. Myself Prashant, and as sir introduced, I'm not that much big person. I'm a small personality, and only I believe in the hard works. Hello. Prashant, I am little bit different from the normal academic schools. I'm working as a professor, and we are trained the different peoples. And as principal so told, I'm not that big. I works in the field of AI and machine learnings and deep learning and artificial neural networks. I have carried out my research in the real-time control systems and robotics and all. So I'm not that big personality, but I believe in the works, and you have to work sincerely. Even though if you work on the basic topic also, your work can be recognized. Hello. lockdown is going on, and you are all are teaching through the online modes of the teachings. So in labs, when you are teaching the induction motor to the students, and most of the times you are carrying taking them to the labs for most of the times practicals, and you want to show that the induction motor control, how it is controlled with the help of stator control, rotor control, and we are showing it everything. But now due to lockdown, there is no lab facilities available. So I want to explain you how to teach the student and clear their concept and assimilation, give them more assimilation to the student in the classroom only with the help of some simulation software or some simulation tools. And that is the my ultimate aim about this presentation. I also work these things I have implemented in my institutions also. So next is introductions. So as you aware that today more electric drive power electronic system and their control are getting more and more complex, and their users also increasing widely, right from the power sectors, tractions, hybrid vehicle, industrial, home electronics, and automotive, naval, and defense applications. But because of the advancement of microprocessor, microcontroller, and such as DSP, FPGA, DSpace, and power connected, now many tremendous impact of electrical drive and control. But why we are going for the induction motor? Question is that why we are going for the induction motor? There are a lot of motors come in the market. Synchronous motor is there in electrical, and then servo motors are there, then DC motors are there. But most of the industrial, 85% of industrial applications, we uses the induction motor because of its ruggedness and robustness, and it has a linear as well as non-linear characteristics. Though it has a non-linear characteristics, though it is but we are preferring induction motor because of its torque speed characteristics, its maximum speed characteristics, its output. That's why we are using the induction motor. So recently we have used technology, power electronics, modern control, artificial intelligence have the new generation of induction motor control that provide the significant economic benefits, because most of the times we are not going for most of the times our controller may fail, our applications may fail, and frequency and magnitude and phase. That's two parameter we have to control in case of induction motor. Induction motor controls three main electrical engineering to control power electronics and electrical machines. And it is written clearly written by the Bosch 1981. Okay. So according to the induction motor control method, there are two categories. One is a scalar control in which the voltage magnitude and frequency are adjusted. Another control is vector control in which the voltage magnitude and phase are adjusted. But stellar control is based on the steady state relationship between the voltage and control, and we are not controlling any space oriented vector controls. So first is generally scalar control can be used in the open loop mode, as well as the vector control are expensive and high performance drive which aims to control the magnitude as well as phase of the voltage and current. As you aware that, because cost economics is a very important as far as our induction motor drives is concerned. So vector control method includes the free orientation control, direct self control. Both method is try to reduce the complex nonlinear control structure into the linear one, and process them involve evolution of definite integrals. So FOC, that is field orientation control, uses the definite integral to obtain the rotor flux angle, whereas DSC uses the definite integral to obtain the stator flux vectors. Now, vector control has been successfully most of the application nowadays we are using the vector control, even though drive with the vector control also coming in the industries. But there are certain disadvantage of vector control because sensitivity to the parameter variation. Because if your load is varying, because the load your induction motor parameters are varying, so there will be sensitivity. It is a prone to sensitive, and that may affect on the operation of induction motors. Next is the error accumulation when evaluating the definite integral, and error is increased, and due to the error increase, it will affect on your speed control of induction motor. In both the motor, the control must be continuous and calculation will be begin with the initial state. Next is the direct torque control. DTC also exploit vector relation but replace the coordination transforming concept of standard vector control with the form of bang bang action dispensing with the PWM control, that is pulse width modulation. That is the conventional control we are using from so many years. DTC has following features compared to the standard VC: no current control loop, so current no directly regulated, coordinate transformation not required, no separate voltage peering not required, stator flux vector and torque estimation is required. Then next is a sensorless control. This is the advanced version because we are using due to development of power semiconductor devices, sensor technology, MEMS, and nowadays AI controller, IoT device. We can go for sensorless control of induction motor. And research is, if you want to teach the student or tell the student how induction motor is functioning, because now the lockdown is going on, most of the people will not go to the labs. So in that case, how they study, okay, how my torque speed characteristic change with the help of my inputs, with the help of my other parameters. If I change the parameters, what my induction motor speed is changing, my response is changing, which controller I have to design for that, and how it, because nowadays it is highly impossible during the lockdown, you cannot take to the labs. So my ultimate in that speed control of induction motor using the artificial intelligence technique. We already know, we are applying in the labs also. We are performing the induction motor control using the stator control, then V by F control, lot of things. Next is the, most of the people, we are not calculating the in practical, we are not carrying out the static and dynamic analysis of induction motor, just like time domain analysis and frequency domain analysis. We are not carrying out. But as a teacher or as a researcher, you have to think over it. What are the parameters which help? And that you have to pass on the student also. Okay, how to go for the analytics. So to improve, then again, your ultimate aim is that to improve the transient and steady state response of the induction motor drives. That is using conventional control and artificial intelligence. And then if you want to implement in the hardware, you can go for the real-time control of induction motor drives. So scalar control induction motor, generally, why I am going for the scalar control? Because a lot of research is already gone on to direct torque control, then vector control and all. But till now, there is no ultimate solution to replace the scalar control in the industry. Because in our day-to-day life, in the domestic application, as your homes, we are using the tulu pumps for the pumping the waters and all. So all this has using the scalar controls. So generally we are using the voltage only, voltage controls. So making terminal voltage proportional to the frequency result an approximate constant tetaflux. This is a, because in case of induction motor, to avoid the magnetic unsaturation or saturation, we have to maintain your V by F control constant. You have to maintain some ratio so that the motors could not be going to saturation limits. So parameterized V by F control drives are parameter independent, easy to implement and low cost, but they are classified as a low performance because V by F control is a conventional control and they have their the performance is low. Though it is a low cost, but performance is low. But how to improve the performance by using the AI control? That I will going to discuss now. So VRF control algorithm is widely adopted. Everyone knows that with the help of inverters, such as adaptive feed drives, pumps, fans, and with the help of IoT, there are a lot of applications is coming with the help of V5 controls now. So method stator voltage adjusted to the supply frequency, except for low and above. There is a replacement for the pulse width modulation also. So for industrial application, if you want to go for it, so to inverter simple implement should be required a minimum number of commutation per cycle to improve the efficiency and output performance to be acceptable. In many industrial applications, it is often required control of output of the voltage inverter to cope up the variation of the input so that voltage regulation and to reduce the harmonics in the outputs. This is the ultimate aim. So we always go for PWM, but nowadays PWM sufficient voltage cannot be obtained from the inverter by PWM. So we have to go for the over modulation instead of under modulations and all. So that there is another option which is called as space vector pulse width modulation. Everyone knows that But very big advantage of pulse space vector pulse width modulation is that it gives the 15% more output voltage than the conventional module. That is, it is a better to link DC voltage liquid and more efficient use of DC supply voltage. This is the very big advantage for the space vector pulse width modulations. Now, for analysis purpose, very first thing, I'm going theoretically, I'm not going for the lab. That's why first, the last sentence of my presentation, I told you, I want to correlate your practical labs in the laptops or in the computer labs. How you are replacing your computer labs or your practical labs in the computers. How you are coming to your lab, conventional lab to the classroom. And how you teach them, how the induction motor working, how it comes, how it behaves. And that is for that first things you have to carry out the dynamic modelings and simulation with the help of MATLAB. So can be expressed by the voltage and torque equation, which are the time varying. And we are converting your three-phase motor into the two-phase DQ models that we already know that DQ modeling, those who have done their post-graduation and those who carrying out the research, they might be come across these things. So DQ modeling and stator and rotor variables of the induction motor are transferred to the reference plane, which may be rotated at any angular velocity or remain stationary. These are the three basic criteria for design. So this is my DQ model of basic DQ model of any induction motor with the stator and rotor inductances and rotor and stator, rotor inductances, rotor resistance, and all these parameters. And you know mutual inductances, LN, I have already considered. And according to that, I have just used your basic model of DQ model, which is converts your three-phase induction motor into the two-phase induction motor, that is DQ models. And I have written the first equation. I start with the flux, because from the DQ model, flux linkages can be achieved, and which will be stator flux, rotor flux of Q axis and D axis. For more detail, you can get in any books and all. But I cannot. You just go through it. It is a lot of books and a lot of papers are available. Even though my papers are also available, you can just go through it. And these are the flux linkages for the rotor and stator in the Q and D axis. Q and D axis. Okay. So by substituting the values of the flux linkage in the above equation, the following current equation, which I am calculating current now. Current, because for torque calculation of the torques, current is required. So that's why I am calculating my currents, that is D-axis current and Q-axis current for the rotor as well as stator in terms of the fluxes, which I calculated in the previous slides. So now the flux equation are as follows. Now I am getting the flux equations in terms of again my resistance, Q-axis and D-axis and inductances. So now finally my aim is to calculate the torques by all these equation, because induction motor has, it converts your mechanical electrical into the mechanical engineering. So load is always connected as a mechanical. So there should be always some inertia and some relation, and that I consider, that is load as well as J. You can see it, and T load I have considered the inertia also, number of pole also, and rotor speed, which is the important when machine is rotating. So finally I achieve this. After this, I transform this equation in the MATLAB, because most of the people, what I observe it that they use the default model of the MATLAB, that is simulating model and power system block scale, but that will not give you an accurate result, because if you want to use your model for the specific applications or specific research, it is very, very important to use that model. Use your basic equation, model those equations, and transform into the MATLAB instead of using whatever the readily available MATLAB model, which is not which will be not suitable to your further research also or further analysis. So that's why I have used the basic blocks or Q-axis and D-axis. I will not go in much detail because of time limits. So I have just transformed those equations in terms of where my DQ models, all these in the MATLAB, but from the basic equations. Then next is you can see that Q blocks. I use the mechanical links. I use the measurement. What are the parameters I have to measure? That is the IS, DS, DR, QR, all speed, torque, electrical torques. That I have just measure it And again, this is the another system AB2. Then finally I want a DQ model, because my equation I have to transform, that is the inverse DQ transformation or Parkes transformation people are saying. I have just carry out, and then finally I am getting the measurement in terms of mechanical as well as electrical measurement. So now this model is constructed and I have to do the input source. So that with the conventional things, I have not used any controller. I have just modeled these equations with the help of basics, and then I have just put in the MATLAB. Now for this conventional model, I am giving the input, that is a 3 sinusoidal waveforms which are 120-degree apart, as in the basic theory, that is rotational rotating magnetic field theory. Just I am applying my 3 voltage sources to the induction motor. And this is my model, conventional model, that is torques and all load torques. I can apply to the load torques also. In labs, you are applying physically. But I am applying in the simulation by using some commands or some blocks, that is load torque block. And same thing I am using in the conventional mode. And this is the open loop control. I am not applying any closed loop models. Now, further I will go for the closed loop. And this is the conventional model. I have not applied any controller. And you can see the result. What is my result for conventional mode? This is my torque speed characteristics. You can see that, because I have put some limit. That is my 1500 is the maximum speed, or what you call a synchronous speed. This is my torque response, and this you can see the conventional. This you are teaching in the labs also by performing the experiment. That is rotor block rotor test and open circuit test and no load test and all. Same thing I obtained by using the MATLABs. Now, this is the open loop control. There are 2 types of control. I am generally in control system aspect. We always go for closed loop and open loop. By using the feedbacks, we always go for the closed loop. But we will study both. What in control system you already study. Everyone is studied, because closed loop control gives the more accuracy result, and there is a less oscillation and all. Now, same thing when we apply to the drives applications, whether it is proved or not, that I will show you now. So this is my open loop control. It is just my mechanical speed and sleep speed, and with this I am getting one just applying, and I am getting the speed, and with this speed I am applying the voltage, and with the help of P, with this frequency and omegas, I have my frequency is generated, and V by F ratio is supplied to my space vector pulse modulation simulations, and then finally it gives to the induction motors. All this parameter I have written. Most of people knows that, so I'll not go much details. And I have already told you frequency is next multiplied by the number of ports to obtain the reference output frequency, which is supplied to the inverter for firing to generate the pulses of the inverters, and then finally it goes to the induction motor, that what amount of voltage you are supplying, because it is V by F controls again. So advantages of open loop V by F controls is the Keller control scheme. The phase relationship between induction motor space vector are not controlled during the transient. This is one of the advantage, because we are not considering any phase. The control scheme is based on the steady state characteristics, which allows the stabilization of the stator flux for different speed and torques value. In many industrial applications, the requirement related to the dynamic property of the drive, because we are not going for the static analysis most of the times, because motor is a dynamic drive. So dynamic property we should know, and we should know how to control these properties. So what are the disadvantages of open loop control? So at low speed, the voltage drop across the stator resistance must be taken into account, maintain the constant flux. Because if you not taken the stator resistance drop, there will be flux V by F ratio is not maintained the constant. V by F ratio is not maintained the constant. The disadvantage is that the open loop will always suffer from the oscillation. We know that already. We are already studied in the control system also. Open loop control have always oscillation in the outputs. So now we are going for the closed loop control. Same thing what I have added. Whatever the output speed I am getting from the induction motor, same to the feed to the induction motor, and then I have put some controller, AI controller, and output of AI controller will develop me for the frequency for space vector modulations and peak. That is the output frequency. Means I am controlling frequency as well as voltage by using the AI controller. So again, sleep speed must be limited by the stability of over control protections, and all. Now AI based control of induction motor. What is the AI based control? The induction motor constant at a voltage, magnitude, and frequency has to be maintained. That I told ki V by F control, the ratio of the V by F control should be maintained. This keep constant and optical flux in the machines. The V by F control calculate the reference stator voltage based on V by F information. The magnitude of stator voltage is calculated from the absolute value of PI control and angle of obtained by the integrating the PI controller. So very first controller I am going the PI controller. That is a basic controller. Now also in most of the industries we are using the PI controller, not for going for the AI and all, because its inherent advantages. There are a lot of inherent advantages for PI controller. So that is the frequency, as well as one is generate voltage and another is angle theta. So conventional control of induction motors. Scalar control methods are widely used due to simple structure, characterized by low steady state error. PI controller is one of the conventional controller and it has been widely used for the speed control of induction motor. So proportional integral controller, a very common controller which are used nowadays also in industry. It is not replaced due to automatic lot, but till PI control, in addition to the PI control, we are adding some other control, that is the artificial intelligence control, yeah, vector control or DTC, all the things controller we are adding additionally. So advantage of PL controller. PR controller are very much suited to the parameter very inherent in the real-time plant operation. The major feature of PR controller are in ability to maintain a zero steady state error to the state change in the reference. This is the my basic block diagram for the there are the KP and that is proportional gain, and this is the KI, that is integral gain, and the control law is that KP plus KI at the error is integrating, and this is the controller I have applied in the MATLAB. So PI, but there are certain disadvantages of PI controllers also, namely the undesirable speed overshoot, sluggish response, because if you operate it after some time, it gives a sluggish response. Means even though you are changing the voltage, your speed is not changing. Sudden change in the load torques, and the sensitivity of control gain depends on Ki and Kp. That is the integral gain as well as proportional gain. So this is my simulated model of induction motor with the PI controller in the open loop mode and closed loop modes. So now need for the artificial intelligence controller, because basic aim is that. So PI controller suffers from the getting a poor performance whenever the plant is subjected to the some kind of disturbances or plant has having order non-linear structure, because every plant is a non-linear in the practical applications, and that's why PR controller is giving the poor performance. So challenges, then what are the challenges in the employing the PI controller? Two tuning parameters inherent with each other, and their influence must be balanced by the designer, because tuning is the biggest problem in the PI controller. Then if you increase more items, the oscillations or rolling behavior means your transient response will suffer as well as steady state will improve, but transient will suffer. And that's why the question comes, we have to go for the AI controller. During the operation, even when the parameter and load of the motor varies, a desirable control performance in both transient and steady state. Means we have to control transient as well as steady state performance of the induction motor. Controller with fixed parameter, just like a PI controller, it cannot give provide the realistically high gain or use. Therefore, control strategy must be robust and adaptive. So the tuning of comes challenging problem, the conventional PI design. So all these problems can be overlooked or overcome by use of AI control. So becomes poor when the uncertainty of drives such as load disturbances, mechanical parameter, unmodeling dynamics in practical applications. Because in practical application, load is changing, mechanical parameter also changing, and that gives your drives performance is very low. In high performance induction motor application, the desirable performance both transient and steady state must be provided in the parameter of the load. That is our primary requirement. Even though my parameter is changing, I have to provide my transient as well as steady state performance. My motor has to reach particular speed which I desired. So this is the basic mod block diagrams I have used, model and all and all. Now first controller I am using is the fuzzy. Most of the people know that artificial neural networks. So the most important feature of artificial neural network is its ability to learn and improve the operation using neural network training automatically. So my aim is to that now. The objective of neural network control is to develop the feed forward network. There are a lot of back forward, feed forward, other networks, recurrent neural networks, RNN, deep neural networks nowadays people are using also. So you can use a basic controller, that is the neural network, feed forward network, such the output of neural network speed control, and it can track the, your target speed. And I have assumed that two layer networks, that is the very two layers and one hidden layers and all. And I have designed with the help of simple neural network toolbox. You can go in the MATLAB and you can design very easily. These are the parameters I have used. That is the feed forward neural networks. Then 50 number of hidden layers I have used. The learning rate, EPOS, Stan Simonette, and EPOS I have used the 1000, and I have trained the data with the 1 lakh samples. So drawbacks of the AI controller with the NFIS. Now all this controller I have studied. First I have told you PI. It has its own disadvantage and own advantage. FLC also have own disadvantage and own advantage. Then ANN also has some advantage and disadvantage. So for that advantage, I am going for the adaptive neuro fuzzy controller. So PI controller able to achieve this, but with a certain the gain cannot be increased beyond certain limits. In PI controller, we cannot increase the proportional gain as well as integral gain with some certain limits to improve the performance. So non-linearity making into complex for analysis, it deteriorates the controller performance also. So these are the disadvantages of PI controller. Now, FLC has having the following drawbacks also. In design controller, fuzzy logic work either independently and hybrid with the PI. The main design problem lies with the determination of consistence and complete rule set and shape of the makership functions. And I also, it depends on the intuition of the designer and expertise of the designer also. Lot of trial and error has to be carried out to obtain the desirable desired response, which is time consuming. Now ANN. ANN alone is insufficient if the training data are not enough. The basic fundamental problem with the neural layer, if you don't have a real or proper training data, your neural network will not gives the good results in any mode for all operating modes. So drawback of the fuzzy logic and artificial can be overcome by using adaptive neurofuzzy inference system that is called as ANFIS. So main concept of neurofuzzy networks is derived from the human learning process, whereas the initial knowledge of the function of fuzzy rule and these combine the learning power of the neural with the knowledge of representation of the fuzzy logic. It's a combination of fuzzy and neural. Neurofuzzy system means one fuzzy system which trained by the learner, means whatever the advantages of neural network, that is training data, that is I'm taking, and what are the advantage of fuzzy and combining both and form my ANFIS. The learning capability is advantageous from the viewpoint of FIS. The formation of linguistic rule base will be advantageous from the viewpoint of ANN. And that gives me a good result in case of all my artificial intelligence controller. Now you can go for optimization with the help of genetic also. That I have not done it. I've done it, but I will not today because time consuming. I have used the 5-layer ANFIS controller, which is available here. I use the 5-layer, and you can see that on the figure you are getting the control. It's a combination of this is my fuzzy and this is my neural. So you can combine it and you'll get the results. Now, what parameters, how I go for all controllers. So fuzzy controller can be designed by the proper adjustment of membership functions. And artificial neural network controller designed by adjusting the weights, because that is the important parameters in case of ANN controller. And ANFIS is developed on fuzzy system, which is trained by the learning algorithm derived from the neural network theory in order to get simulated results, or in order to get my what are the desired results. These are the parameters. So I have used the single phase three-phase induction motor and 1 HP 400. I have simulated for higher rating induction motor, that is 20 to 50 also. That is not because time consumption, time limit. I cannot show that results. So this is my first toxic characteristics in open loop mode as well as my closed loop mode. You can see that. You can observe that. You can observe that here, and please give me a smooth results. Even though my starting torque, what is the basic requirement for induction motor control? Initially, you require a higher torque to overcome the inertia. Same thing in case of ANPs. You see that you are getting the good torque in case of ANPs, and you are not getting the good torques in case of the other controller. You look PI, look even though fuzzy, and look ANN. There are a lot of difference, but if you see the ANPs, you are getting the good torque initially, so that motor can be start very quickly. It reaches its steady state value faster. That is the main ultimate aim of any drive system. So this is again for the no torque for the this is the my torque responses. You can see that torques. Initial torque is more here also in open loop and closed loop. First is torque speed, second is the torque responses, third is the speed responses. You see that it reaches its steady state value faster as compared to other three controllers. Now next is, this is my first condition, that is the no load condition. I have used the no load condition. Now next is, if I apply the load, what my parameters? You see that if I am applying the load, constant load to the induction motor, even though by application of the load, my Anfield controller come back very fast to their desired value. By applying the, though it will go, it will oscillate for momentarily, but it will come again, regain its original desired value. That is the ultimate aim of Anfield. Next is you can see here by applying, I am applying the load at 2 seconds. So you can see that it reaches its oscillation. You can see that in closed loop. Torque is more and you are getting the good results. Then speed also, you see that after applying the disturbances or constant torque, sudden application of the load, the amps give the good results. You can see that. Now third condition, I have used the change of the speed. Suddenly I change the speed command because I have used the initially speed is 1500, then after certain time I want to speed is 1000. So I have applied, so it observes the changes and rapidly comes to their position. You can see that, you can observe that. And this is again torque characteristics. You can see that there is a deep change, but it will gain immediately. You can see that. You can see that neural and all, they takes more time, but this takes a very less time to reach their final values. Similarly, speed, you can see that by changing the speed, suddenly I change the speed or suddenly I change the load. So even though whatever the changes happen, mechanical changes, parameter variation also, but Anfi's response very fast. It gives a good result in case of other controller. And then I carry out the static analysis, that is the transient analysis of induction motor drives. And you will know that which controller is the best suitable for your drive. Second thing, this is the, when I apply the load also, you can observe that Anfis gives me good result. It reaches my steady state value faster. That is, settling time is one of the criteria for transient domain. Then if I change the speed also in open loop, I am getting them results. Next, in the closed loop also, by default, all controller are performing well. But on this all controller, Anfis are performing very well as per the all parameter, peak overshoot, rise time, and settling times. All three conditions. You can observe that in all three conditions. This is the last condition. And now, if you want to show the student how the motor can work as an induction generator, because recently there are a lot of applications increasing importance of distributed energy resources for the wind turbine and micro turbine. There are renewed attention to the induction generator. This can be done by implementing in Simulink by using the negative load torque instead of positive. Because while I have applied positive torques, I got some results. But when I apply the negative torque, The motor work as a generator, and you can see that which controller I get a good result. And fees in fact, and fees getting a good result in case of induction generator also. So this is the beauty of AI controllers. And this last is the way ahead. So what you can go way ahead, the demand for high performance induction motor drives are rapidly increasing, particularly in the area of tractions, electric vehicle, oil, drilling machines, aerospace. पलट साहब, पलट साहब, पलट सामान वो रख दो, 2 मिनट, सामान सामान sorry. So induction, particularly in the area of traction, electric vehicle, oil, drilling machine, aerospace applications, and ideal induction motor drive should have following functions. Means drive should have the high performance control. Performance should be unaffected by the machine parameters. If the machine parameters are very loads are varying, though your drive should capable of giving a good desired output. Next is possibility of speed. That is sensor control. Low cost and fast dynamic response. Use of new AI techniques such as machine learning and deep learning. You can carry out your own research if someone is interested in the research, and then go for the deep learnings. Thank you. This is my small presentation. Because of time, I could not go in show in simulations and all. So if any questions, I will answer those questions.
So that I can unmute you. Or else you can also place your question in the
chat box also. They can put their question in chat box also.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So there is a question from Gajwara Pranay Kumar.
Yeah.
So which simulation tool you have used, sir?
I have used the MATLAB.
MATLAB.
Everything in the MATLAB only. No other tools I am using. I am last 20 years I am working on the MATLAB, and I feel it is very comfortable. Nowadays people are going for the Python and all, but what I personally feel, MATLAB is a more engineering based simulations are available, because you can carry out the mathematical analysis, you can club with the signal processing analysis, everything can be done in the MATLAB. People are using for the Python and all nowadays. People are working on the deep learning, machine learning, support vector machines and all. But what I personally feel, for as an electrical engineer, we have to go for the MATLAB. We can use the other tool, Python and all. We can use the Python or any other tools. People are using LabVIEW also. Some people are using LabVIEW. Those who are going for the industrial controls or industrial control and measurement. But what we can use the IoT also. Someone asked the question IoT, and I have done. Actually, we can go for the real-time function. I have done the real-time simulations only. I have implemented all these controls in the DSpace controller, and I have simulated the result. This is my simulation results. I have also real-time control result. Because of the time, I could not show you. Sorry for that. Okay. Anyone have any questions?
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir. One more question is available, sir.
Yeah.
The question is, what is the latest technology of AI? Means, what is the MATLAB version we can use?
You can work, 2019 is the latest version where all toolboxes are available. Machine learning, deep learning, support vector machines, deep neural networks, everything is available in the MATLAB 2019. Presently, I started working because it's different from the other version. Till 17, things are not available. But MATLAB 2019 A and B, both are available. All toolboxes are related to electrical engineering. Then the some people are using Schemescape also. If you are comfortable, you can use it. But I personally feel that you can go for the deep learning toolbox or machine learning toolbox, support vector machines and all. You can go for it. That is a recent trend for the electrical engineering research in the drives. IoT also you can go, but you have to go for the real time. Yeah.
So there's one more question. Thank you very much, sir. One more
Yeah.
question, sir, about can we go for any other two?
Completed. Okay. You can send me on the email. You can see my academy ResearchGate account is there. My lot of research paper I have uploaded on the ResearchGate. You can go for the academic.edu, where a lot of research I have uploaded, my own research. Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Yeah.
And I remind once again all the participants, if people are having any doubts, you can also reach us in the chat so that we can raise the questions and you can ask the questions for the sir. If it is not possible now, you can also mail it and provide it in the mail details of the sir also. So now let's move on to the vote without wasting time. I would like to request our
Yeah. Good afternoon.
This is K. Chandramoli, Associate Professor, Coordinator of this webinar. First of all, I thank all the participants.
My pleasure, sir.
Sri Vageshwari Educational Society Correspondent and Secretary, Dr. G. Srinivas Reddy Garu, Joint Secretary, Sri D. Srinivas Reddy Garu, for providing for their hard work, and was all my colleagues and faculty of EEE department whose coordination and cooperation made this webinar successful. I thank all who directly or indirectly helped us. Thank you.
Yes, I would like to place all the feedback links. I would like to remind everyone you must place your feedback links according to the batches. We have already mentioned clearly about the batches in your mails. So hence feedback links available in the chat box. I humbly request participants to please submit the feedback links according to their batch numbers. Then only you will be getting the certificate within a very short time.